Hey, good morning. Yes, it's Sunday morning, and it's November 5th. Waiting on the boys. Still early yet. What is it? 4:53 new time. But I'm still on old time. I don't know how this time zone stuff affects you guys, but it really is me, the dogs, the cows. We're all still. I gradually bring them over. And even when I was milking cows and stuff, all the farmers would switch that 1 hour like it was nothing. And the cows have to get adjusted. They're like, cows are OCD. They got to do it in a certain way every time, morning and night. All right? So what we would do is when we hit time changes, we would do it in 15-minute increments so that, over a period of a week to gradually bring them over to the new time. But with having a chance to hunt and stuff, the thing that with me is that it gives me a chance to think about things. And I'm going to have to take a pencil and paper and just write down some of these ideas that I have while I'm sitting in that stand watching deer because it gives you a chance to reflect. And if you've never done it, you don't have to go deer hunting per se. Just go camping, go out in the wilderness. And I don't hear the cars. I don't hear trucks going by. I don't hear people jabbering away about nothing. I hear just what nature has to offer me, and that is the sound of a bunch of mallards coming in. There's yesterday morning the sound of geese going south, and there were big flocks of crows that were, 100 to 150 crows in a bunch flying through. It's a way to de-stress. I'm telling you, if you haven't tried it, you need to try it. I need to hunt 365 days a year just so I can de-stress more often. But the problem is we tend to see is we don't have time, right? You need to make time. And that means if you're not a hunter per se, that's fine. The outdoors is not just for hunters. It's for hikers. It's for whoever wants to enjoy it. Period. And each one of us are going to get our own unique feeling, take, what have you, on our experience while doing it. And that's okay. But I got to thinking that there's kind of like three types of people. And those are the ones that either will give you a leg up or a hand up. Those that'll just stand there and watch. And then there's those that have a tendency to kind of, you're in their way and they plow through, and they revel at other people's misery. Yeah. An example. You know how I love examples. I went to our local grocery store, it's Price Chopper in Governor, New York. And there was an old guy. And he was a veteran because I could see him get out of his vehicle as I was headed towards the store. And he was parked in a handicapped parking area. And it said, retired veteran or something to that extent. But none of that mattered, right? But I'm keenly aware of what's going around my surroundings all the time. where people have a tendency to be too busy with their own stuff to take time to notice things. But one of the things I noticed is that he had a hard time walking. He had kind of a shuffle. The man was like 5 foot tall and a little on the heavy side, but not fat. And he had a cane, and he would just keep trying to drag this 1 foot. As he got up close to the door, I noticed that there were 4 or 5 people that just cut right in line of him to get into the store that acted like he wasn't even there. Just pushed him aside and went in. And then I also saw a couple people standing behind him patiently, but that's as far as they would go. And I'm thinking to myself, it would probably be easier if he had a cart that he could put his hands on and move around. So I stepped up beside him and I said, "Listen, young man, would you like a cart?" And he chuckled because I called him young man. And he said, "I would very much love to have a cart." I said, "You want a big one or do you want the smaller one?" He said, "Just a smaller one would be great." I said, "Okay." So I got him the cart because I offered to get him the electric one that you ride on. But he said, no, that was for people that were really handicapped. And I'm looking at him, I'm thinking, I've seen people riding these things around, and they are not anywhere near handicapped as you are. But he said he needed the exercise anyways, and that he needed to get the groceries because his wife was homebound, and he had nobody else to get groceries. So I gave him the cart, and he's like, "Go ahead of me. I'm slow. Just go ahead." I said, "Look, I got all the time in the world. Go ahead, make your way into the store, and I'll be behind you there somewhere." So he did. And I actually offered a cart to the 2 people that were waiting patiently behind him, and they graciously thanked me. But the point I'm trying to make is the people that could care less about others are the 4 people that cut in front of him and never even gave him a once over. And they were younger people. The 2 that were waiting patiently behind were my age. But there was only one of me that offered him a cart, talked to him, and actually the story didn't end there because we kept meeting up in the aisles and stuff, and he was trying to reach stuff off the shelf, and I would help him put it into his cart. And when I went through checkout, he was behind me, and I told, I think her Shelby, I think it was, she was the cashier there, and I said, "He's going to need some help, okay?" And help him unload the cart and stuff like that. She said, "Okay, I'll get Arnold." So when I got through the store and I was outside unloading my stuff into the truck, I see him coming out, headed towards the vehicle. So I got my stuff unloaded, put my cart away, and by that time he was almost to his car. So I walked over there and I helped him facilitate getting his groceries, and that means he opened the trunk for me and I put stuff in the trunk for him. And I asked him, I said, "Do you have a way to get it out once you get home? Or are you going to be struggling with this?" And he said, "No, my neighbor will come over and help me." I said, "All right, as long as you've got help, but I don't want to find out that you didn't have help and you were trying to struggle with this, because I've got a few extra minutes. I can follow you home, help you get the stuff inside, and then I'll go on my merry way." But that's how people are in this world. they're like three types. The ones that could care less. The ones that just stand there and let things pass them by, and then you have the one that sees what's going on in their environment and tries to improve on it. Now, this isn't about me. This is about people that you know in real life. It could be you. You could be the person that's offering the shopping cart. And I bet you most of you guys that are on this channel are the person that would give your cart to somebody else that needed it more. Or get them a car. Or help them if they're in the grocery store. Or where have you. You know, helping somebody snow blow out their driveway. It's seeing what's going on in your environment and then trying to improve on it, right? Because you have the people that just watch life go by. You know, they're just filling a space. And then you have the type that's all about themselves. And they could care less about anybody else. And then, of course, you have the third type, and that's the one that does care, that does see what's going on in their environment, and reacts in a good way to try to improve on what they're seeing. It's not that hard to do. But a lot of people are just so wrapped up in time. Well, got to get here, and got to get there, and got to get here. And, you know, it's like we talk about in business, that you're not enjoying the journey. You're just focused on A to B. Once you get to B, you got to go C. And you're not noticing the people you could have helped along the way. And the people that are all wrapped up in themselves are also normally the people, and I hate to say it, but have a tendency to relish in other people's failures. Think about that for a minute. If you find yourself happy when somebody else fails, that says a lot about yourself. Not about the other person. It's about who you are. And we've all done this. You know, the guy that constantly brags and finally screws up and you're just kind of smirking and... But that has less to say about them than it does about us. The only one that we can control is us. And how we act and react. And I want to leave this world knowing that I've helped people along the way. I've given them the leg up, the hand up. And I'm always looking to improve on myself. Because I understand my limits. I understand, you know, that the only one I can control is myself. And improve on myself. And I can't improve on other people. You know, you can say something to them. But you need to worry more about how you're reacting and acting around other people and in every different situation in life. You know, not every situation is going to be the same. You can't be all about yourself 100% of the time. What's best for you and going that course. Because what probably would have been best for me would have been like the group A that paid no attention to this old fella and just pushed him aside as they went in the store and got on their way and got whatever they wanted out of the store and then got back in the vehicle and got home. But the journey to get there and get in and get home sometimes is more important than the actual act that you're doing. If that makes any sense. So just give it some thought. I mean, I know that the bulk of the people that are on this channel, they're the one that would offer the cart, help with the groceries, and even offer to follow them home and help them unload the groceries. I know who. I know the people that are watching this channel. And that brings out the best in everyone. Sometimes we have to lead by example to our kids and to the people around us, that this is the correct and right way to do things, versus being stuck on yourself or just standing in a place and watching life go by them, and never getting anything accomplished. This world would be a better place if we looked after each other and didn't focus 100% on our needs and our wants. On that note, you guys have a great Sunday. The boys are here. We're going to go hunting.